All right, we're going to go over the preview of round of 32 with Inter Miami, and we know who our opponent is, and it is going to be Toronto FC, and that's going to be tomorrow night, August 8th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. How did both teams get here? Well, we kind of already talked about with the Inter Miami situation. They beaten Puebla 2-0 at Chase Stadium, and ultimately that was enough because the next game, Puebla actually loses to Tigres, and that would ultimately eliminate them from continuing on with the League's Cup. They lost to them 2-1 against Tigres, and a result of it. They did try to make a comeback, but a situation in the 71st minute that led to a ejection card from one of the players, and Diego Reyes would score against Puebla, and Puebla would get eliminated in that group stage, and they will not wind up continuing on for the rest of the League's Cup. So with that being said, Inter Miami already goes up to round of 32, no matter the outcome with the game between us and Tigres, and we already talked about that situation with Tigres. That penalty goal and then the terrible giveaway by Kristoff, and that led to a game winner with Vagian. If I butcher it, I apologize. But even though we lost that game, we still already clinched through the round of 32. So there's really nothing to say about that one. So, and we host it. We host this game. Because of the fact that there are a couple of reasons. They were saying that it could be because of the fact that they had implemented a rule with the rankings of the regular season. Let's get there. With the regular season, which if you have a pretty high point ranked in this season, you get first place. Especially if you're in first place. Here it is. Under League's Cup rules, hosting priority for knockout rounds matches between MLS teams is determined by the League's Cup rankings, where all teams are ranked by the number of points they occurred in the previous 34 regular season league matches. And considering Inter Miami is in first place overall, and I mean the Supporters Shield conversation with Inter Miami, that is pretty much the reason why. That's pretty much the case right there. Now with that being said, also, now we talk about our opponents of round of 32. Last year, when we beat Cruz Azul and Atlanta United, and I'm gonna look back right now, our opponent of round of 32 was Orlando City. We beat Orlando City to go to the Sweet 16. And we know that story from there. We beat Dallas, we beat Charlotte, we beat Philadelphia, then we won the League's Cup against Nashville, which was absolutely terrific, and it's still awesome to this day. Toronto FC, how did they get here? Their first game was against the Red Bulls in their group stage, and they actually won in penalties, 5-4 in penalties, which would give them a couple more points. Now, like last year, no matter if it's a regular group stage game or a tournament playoff game, you have to go through penalties because there must be a winner. And I'm going to be part of that minority that I feel like every game should have a penalty shootout to determine the winner for regular season games. That's just me personally. MLS Next Pro is doing it. Why not the MLS? And NHL's kind of doing that. I don't know. Anyway, they beaten the Red Bulls in penalties. And their next game is against Pachuca and they win that game against Pachuca. And I think that game was in BMO Field, which is in Toronto, I believe. They beaten Pachuca 2-1. Derek Etienne Jr. starts off. Swama, I can't pronounce it. Idrissi would tie it up, and then Kobe Franklin would ultimately put the game winner for Toronto. And despite that, they were undefeated. Yes, they had the penalty win, but they were lined up with 5 points. And with that being said, they were undefeated and they were first place. They were in first place in that league's thing. And that led to us. Now the bracket comes in, and we are playing against Toronto FC, which the last time we played against Toronto FC was about a few weeks ago. We've beaten them 3-1, and this is around the time where Messi got hurt at the Copa America final. His ankle. I'm also been hearing that a big chance he's going to come back if Inter Miami goes on a deep run in the League's Cup. He might come back. The worst case scenario, he comes back in September. But even then in September, there's still international break. So we're probably still going to be without Messi until probably mid to late September. I don't want to say that. I don't want to speculate that, but that could be that route. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, we've beaten Toronto 3-1 against them in Shea Stadium. And speaking of Shea Stadium, that is the game. That's the stadium that we're going to be in. So we're hosting it. And then after this game, if we do win this game against if we do win this game against Toronto FC, as I'm gonna find the bracket right now. I can't believe I don't have the bracket up. We would play the winner of the next game. As I'm gonna try to find the bracket right now. Here it is. Between Kansas City and Columbus. Now, if we win, we probably go on the road. I don't know for certain, but we probably go on the road, especially if it's the team like Columbus. But Kansas City, we've beaten them on the road. Heck, we even beat them at Arrowhead Stadium a few months back. This was one of the highest selling games on record in Kansas City, a Sporting KC history, and it's big thanks to us as well. But for Columbus, they're a tough team, but we did beat them without Messi and also without Suarez, if I remember correctly. They played each other back in June 19th, and yeah, this is without Messi and this is without Suarez. So Campana was the big scorer in that game, and so was Ian Fry, and he was coming back from the ACL tear. But that was at home. It could be a little bit different on the road, but we'll see what happens. But we cannot talk about that yet. It could also be that we can play Kansas City on the road, or by any chance if they come to our home turf, our home field to play against us at home. But we don't know. We have no idea yet because we have this game to go through tomorrow night, and we're gonna buckle up because this is gonna be fun. I hope we're gonna get that momentum back. We're gonna rebound from Saturday's loss, and it starts with Toronto FC at Shea Stadium. So we can expect Campana to rebound. We can also hopefully have cooler heads, and hopefully we see Suarez get some action in this game. We can bank on it. Anyway, there you go. That's going to do it for this preview. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content because Miami TFG guys are back. And when he does, he'll be right there with the fear team you deserve. This is my TVG. Sign out, folks. Audio.